Hi, this is Allison again. So to pick up where we left off, I was about to start my first chemo May 19th, but I need to preface a few things before I get into this. Otherwise, it may not fully make sense. My marriage was by no means the strongest. We were still trying, but even with a healthy relationship, cancer makes it hard. I knew that. That is why I had my plan A, B, and C. It was rough. So yeah, that played a big part in what went on. May 19th, he took the day off. He drove me to my first chemo, my port insertion. It was pretty quick, but I was high as a kite. They had me on like 2 doses of fentanyl. What they do is they cut you open, they put a little port in. You can still see it. My wires are still in there. The little catheter goes in and comes out right behind my heart. And that's what they use to give you this poison that saves your life. So that was in. And then I went over to the cancer building across the parking lot from the hospital. And I had my first chemo. He was there with me still because obviously I couldn't drive. I remember him being like super supportive and helpful, and it was great. I felt so confident and happy and like great. My chemo plan was gonna be 4 doses of the Red Devil. I forgot the drug names. I can drop that in the description later on. And I was going to be doing it every 2 weeks, which was dose dense. That also required an auto injector on the back of my arm. I think it was 24 hours after chemo. This was an immune booster to help the white blood cells rejuvenate. That way I could recover quicker between the doses, because this tanks your immune system pretty bad. So we did that. That first week wasn't terrible. Wasn't bad. But if you know anything about that drug, you know it's not fun. I was terrified. I didn't know what to expect. That first weekend was petrifying, to say the least. The week before my first chemo, his friend's dad died. Someone that he claims he was close with. But in the 5 years we were married, I heard about him maybe twice. So I started to question how close they were. The funeral was Saturday, the day after my first chemo. So he went to that. No, excuse me, sorry. I believe it was Friday. The same day as my chemo, but later in the afternoon. So he went to that, but he came home the rest of the day. Like, you need to go to that for closure. I get that. I understand. I am not a selfish person. Saturday, he went and helped his friends clear out his dad's stuff. All day. Again on Sunday. All day. I was home all weekend. A nervous wreck. I'm a pretty anxious person. I was petrified because I didn't know what to expect. This drug, the Red Devil, I read about was like horrible side effects. Mouth sores, can't eat, can't drink, nauseous. body sweats, you name it, horrible side effects. I was scared, and I felt abandoned. But I always tried to look on the bright side and give someone benefit of the doubt. He said he was a phone call away. I want to say he is, but in the past when I've needed him, I've been let down a lot. My phone calls are never returned. My texts are always missed. His phone was left in a truck. There was no service. That became the norm. So yeah, you're just a phone call away. I wanted to believe that, so I was petrified. And I felt alone. That was my first chemo, May 19th, 2023.